Ha, Namanakota Louise Beagle, and I'm from Ocean Man First Nation. For me, when I'm at a powwow, there's something about the drum. It resonates deeper. It's a heartbeat. It's a wave of energy that brings people together to share, to dance, and to celebrate. Over the next hour, we're going to share stories that will resonate with you, and we hope the first few stories will also bring you a lot of joy.
You got it?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Whenever there's like fiddling, there's always movement. And it's always been that way.
Brianna Lazat used to watch her relatives fiddling on home videos. That's why she picked up the instrument.
There was like a huge era of kitchen parties and music in our family for like lots and lots of generations.
But there was less music and fewer gatherings after the last fiddle player in her family died.
I had a dream where I started playing the fiddle, like the kitchen parties I would see in the videos. I woke up the next day and told my mom, like, hey, can I get a fiddle? I want to try out the fiddle. Looking back at it now, it definitely feels like some maybe ancestors and some blood memory kind of flowed in there while I was learning.
She's a big deal in the fiddle world. Lazat played for Pope Francis in Rome, and this year her second album was Juno nominated. Lazat and her husband teach Métis music and dance workshops.
The thing that makes fiddle music in the Métis music world different than bluegrass or Irish or Scottish is that chord scale rhythm.
There are tons of papers that have looked at the history of Métis fiddle music, and they all seem to agree. Fiddles were brought to Canada by Europeans who would play traditional French, Scottish, and Irish songs. Métis made them their own. Fiddlers incorporated elements of First Nations music. You can hear it in the crook and melody.
It makes it more danceable, so that's really important to Métis music, is having that social aspect of it and that danceable aspect.
Do you think you can have one without the other?
No, I definitely don't think so.
Some guys go golfing. I make fiddles.
John Arcand is the master of the Métis fiddle.
Yeah, this is a nice back.
Besides being an exceptional player, he made his first fiddle when he was 12. Now he's made 102.
I'm glad that people are playing them. I'd like to know how many of them is going to be left 300 years from now.
His fiddle playing has taken him far.
I got to play all over the country, in the States, in Ireland, and you name it.
He's played for Queen Elizabeth and the President of Ireland. Arcand's awards and medals seem endless, many of which are for his contributions to keeping Métis fiddle music alive.
People come from across North America to the Emma Lake Fiddle Camp to learn more about fiddling.
Prior to that, the fiddling was just about non-existent in Saskatchewan.
Arcand says he's probably taught 10,000 people. But Arcand told me to feel the music, you have to be able to move.
You got to learn to dance to be a good fiddle player. You learn to play fiddle while watching people dance. You got to follow the people that taking their steps and play along with them, kind of thing.
According to Arcand, if people aren't dancing, we risk losing the music.
Without them two components, one of them will die off. And people won't know what they're playing for.
How would you describe United Thunder?
Energetic, high energy, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a blend of powwow and tap dancing, but it's a dance made by First Nations and Métis peoples. When I'm dancing, I forget about absolutely everything, and I'm just in that moment, and it's a very pure feeling for me.
I feel that you can't really have the dance without, the idea of the dance without the music. They come kind of hand in hand.
What? How important is the music to your performing?
It's really important, especially live music, having a live fiddler. It just brings a whole lot of energy to the dance floor.
That's the job of 17-year-old Kieran Maytwe-Ashing. He's a one-man band.
It's the beat. I really just, when I first heard it, my leg couldn't stop going up and down.
You can't really forget about the Métis style. It just has something to it.
Do you have a favorite dance?
I have to say Red River Jig.
Do you have a favorite dance?
Probably the Red River Jig. It's very important to the culture, for the Métis culture, and for Indigenous peoples to celebrate life, to celebrate our history, to celebrate who we are, and keep the culture going, and hopefully traditions down the road will continue.
Métis fiddling and jigging is one of the richest expressions of our culture. Lizott's musical roots run so deep in her, you can hear it when she plays. And Arcan's influence has been felt through generations of students. With United Thunder, I could feel the joy and energy from every step. Some traditions aren't just taught. They're a part of you because they have always been there.
I'm going to be playing a tune, and I would actually really like to bring up my husband, who is also my accompanist. Ethan, do you want to join me?
Of course.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
It's been my dream to walk in the footsteps of my ancestors. But up until now, I wasn't totally clear on how to do that. I'm at 465 Alexander Street in Winnipeg. Today it's a church, but in 1986 this was the Indian and Métis Friendship Center, and this is where my parents met. Take a look at this photo. It's from 1986, before my parents were a thing. That's my mom there, and my dad, he's right there. My parents split after only a few months, and each left the powwow trail for their own reasons. But I often wonder what it would have been like had I grown up around powwow. I've led a rad life. I've done some cool things. I was a professional wrestler. I'm a dad. And now I'm a reporter. My name is Stephen Richard. I'm an Anishinaabe, a member of Saugeen First Nation, and I'm gonna make my debut at Canada's biggest powwow. But first, I need to learn to dance.
8, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, switch 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is my teacher, 18-year-old Drayden Flett Roulette, a grass dancer from Opaskwayak Cree Nation. As a family, how does the music bring you together?
Well, you know, we're always doing something through all year round. So through the summer we're going to powwows. You know, for winter we're going to round dances. So we're always doing something that's connected to music. And even at home, you know, we're cleaning, listening to a powwow song, and it always finds a way to bring us closer as a family, closer physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. So what I like to do when I teach kids, I say, pretend you're holding shopping bags.
I chose to learn grass dancing because of its unique steps and visual flair.
Go,
tap, tap. Drayden is a pro. Myself, on the other hand,
other way,
not quite yet. So I took what Drayden taught me in those few hours and brought it home to practice. And I practiced. And I practiced. I had 6 weeks to hone my craft. I also had to find regalia. And because our community is so giving and always willing to help, a complete stranger donated me his. Nice. Awesome. Now I was ready. This is Manitowabe 2025. In its 20th year, this powwow keeps getting bigger, attracting more than 25,000 people per year from around the globe. And if you've been to a powwow, you know you can't have one without a drum. State your name?
Lance.
What's your last name?
Greygle.
Can you spell it?
Greyyeagle or something like that. So yeah, Greygle.
How does the drum music connect with the dance? Would they exist without each other?
Like if it wasn't for the drum, you know, there wouldn't be no dances because the drum brings everything, you know, it brings the dancers alive, brings the people alive, it brings like, you know, the visitors and whatnot alive, you know, so it's pretty much the drum.
I've been to Manitowabe before as a viewer. But as a dancer, this felt intimidating. Finally, my moment had arrived. I decided to dance in the intertribals, a style of song where everyone is welcome to dance. I felt comfortable with that. And for this big achievement, my mom was there too.
Woo! Sweating, man. Sweating, feeling good. Felt really good. Lots of people out there. Man, I'm out of breath.
It meant so much for me to have my whole family here. It was an accomplishment. I was exhausted, spiritually and physically. I went home and I slept, but I did manage to capture some reflections that night.
And I felt like invigorated. It was really nice. It was really nice to feel invigorated. And what I can say is that I feel connected, which is cool.
The appreciation of the dance, the drum, and the people. I think of my kids who, through this experience, have wanted to dance powwow. And if they have great teachers like I did,
High five.
like Drayden and Lance, they're in good hands.
Hey music lovers, we spoke with some Indigenous radio hosts about what makes our music so special.
You're listening to CKRZ 100.3 FM. I'm your host, Diane Key, and I'm on the air today right until 5 o'clock. Stay tuned. The music, of course. At our radio station, we do a lot of traditional music. We do a lot of contemporary music. We have language shows that are on the air. And I think we've really been a key point in our community for revitalization of the music and of the language. I have to say Derek Miller, who is from our community. I mean, he's a class act all the way around. He's songwriting, the way he helps his community, his talent, his guitar playing, his energy. As far as traditional music, I'd have to say that Black Bear is probably one of my favorite drums that's out there right now. I think that's the best part about radio. It travels with you.
If you want to bring people together, you don't always have to have a big drum. Sometimes a smaller or simpler instrument will do the trick. Now let's meet the craftsmen who make them and the people who use them.
This is a jigamahan, and today we're in Eskasoni to learn how to make one. We start in the forest near Eskasoni, guided by Mi'kmaq cultural educator Michael R. Denny. Our goal? To get to the roots of a simple but significant instrument. We need the perfect white ash tree. Tall, straight, and nearly free from knots.
Nika is nicht wide, the wood is gomus, armor nicht wide, like it splits. You're not going to use that. You're the one.
Denny has found it. But first he offers tobacco and a prayer to the ash for its sacrifice and to its new role carrying songs and traditions.
Oh.
And then you offer it to the tree?
Yeah, I'll put it on the tree. Oh. A jigamahan is a traditional Mi'kmaq instrument that we use to accompany when you sing traditional songs.
Back at Denny's house, he speaks of resistance and what instruments like the jigamahan mean for the Mi'kmaq. In the 1940s, centralization forced Mi'kmaq onto reserves like Eskasoni.
They would dance, play waltz, and just to get together and sing and dance, they would goju up. And at the time, it was illegal for us to do that. So when they'd have somebody kind of keeping an eye to see who was coming up the hill or up the street or whatever.
This is why the jigamahan's simple design is so important. If the RCMP or an Indian agent came, they were easy to hide.
Either they were broken apart, or they were chucked into the wood pile, or they were just chucked into the wood stove, and they were just burned.
It was also easy to just make another. Denny starts by splitting the ash into blocks. He carves out a piece where the growth rings are tighter, then shapes it until it's smooth and symmetrical. An axe head is used next. Once the growth rings split, the jigamahan is created.
It makes that clapping sound, jigamadesk. The name, of course, comes from jigamadesk, or the sound that it makes, to jigamahan, so the one that makes the jigamadesk sound.
The jigamahan is used for gojua songs. The dancers do a 3-step dance, also called gojua.
So whether you're a Mi'kmaq in Geskabegya, or a Mi'kmaq in Nadawakanik, or Medabanagya, or Bodlodek, or Issasonik, or Ulsetkuk, wherever, the songs come from this land. And they come from our territory, and they come from our families.
Where
so
do I
start at the top, right there, yeah. Pound it nice and hard. Remember, you're swinging an axe.
What do you mean?
Watch where you're swinging the axe. It works.
That is so incredible.
And then I make it pretty.
Yeah. Denny shares his teachings at workshops across Mi'kma'ki. But here in the house, he learned to gojua from his mom. And in the forest where his father shared stories and lessons in harvesting. He's passing on the same teachings, his people's history, and the jigamahan's legacy to his daughters.
Yeah, my hope is that, they're going to be my legacy. That they're the legacy of what my mom taught me how to dance, right? I want to say that, well, you girls, you guys dance like grandma, and that's because I dance like grandma. The song I'm going to sing today is it's a traditional Mi'kmaq song. It's a gojua song by the late elder Noel P. Denny, who comes from this community here in Eskasoni. A lot of the tunes that they would sing were short and simple songs. They were often handed down to their family, so Noel P. Denny would have learned from his father. So the song I'm going to sing is just a little just a little traditional gojua song. There's really there's no words in it. It's a chant, so there's no words in it. And Noel P. Denny would sing this song, and people would get up and they just start dancing, right? Gedoge naduga 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 gedoge nadega hedoge naduga hedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge nadega hedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga gedoge naduga da ho.
Haine haine no he ano haya haine haine no.
It shows who we are as Haudenosaunee people.
It's very grounding to who I am as a Haudenosaunee man, as a Kanien'kehá:ka man.
As cultural educators, Lenelius Hearn and Jake Cook share Kanien'kehá:ka social songs in and around their community of Akwesasne.
So in the language, we refer to these songs as Onjat'kehá:ka. Onjat'kehá:ka means earth, or earth songs.
We're supposed to have that natural medicine of laughter and happiness while we do these dances. It brings, that good energy.
What makes many of these songs special is the water drum. In Akwesasne, they call it a gunatjowi.
So even whenever we're doing these songs on such a small drum, everybody can still hear it because of how loud the water drum can get. So I guess it's kind of small but mighty in its own way.
The water drum has evolved over time, from clay pots to hollowed wood, and now even new materials.
Beautiful in here. Tell me about this one.
So this is a Andrew Thomas drum, It's a PVC pipe drum. It's more contemporary styled. As you can see, there's not really any blue wood around here.
Just go over it a couple times.
The water drum also influences other art forms.
So Water Drum Boy, he's a happy little guy. He comes directly from my culture, the Haudenosaunee culture.
For illustrator Brittany Bonaparte, it's a symbol of resilience and a cultural beacon of hope.
Basically, he's a small hero.
She's designed prints and stickers that she shares on social media and in her community.
Does it sound like the ones over there at Traveling Con?
She says the water drum has the power to unite people.
It brings people together, makes them smile, makes them get up, makes them dance. And when you're dancing to that, it's not like dancing to other music, you know? It's like, it truly feels like something like that actually resonates with you.
Down the river from Akwesasne, a group of teenagers are making their own water drums here in Kahnawake.
Why did you want to take this workshop today?
I feel that it's important to learn how to do this because it makes me feel more connected to my history.
I go to Longhouse and I do sing a lot, and the drum is like the main thing that you use when you're singing. I really thought it would be awesome if I would be able to learn myself how to make one and use it myself with my own voice. It'd be really awesome knowing that I'm singing with something I made.
The class is being taught by Dahaja Mentor. He says the process to hollow out a drum can take weeks and a lot of care. These teens can now make a drum in 2 days. The materials they use are repurposed, from PVC pipes to pencil holders.
So it's wood that's already been hollowed out and dried, cured. It won't crack, it won't break. So I know they're sturdy. We were always masters of trying to make life a little bit easier and keeping traditions going.
But why is it called a water drum, and what makes it unique?
The tone is delivered by the water that's in it. So usually we put it like, we'd say a mouthful of water in here, wet the hide, stretch it over the water drum, and add our rim to it. You'll pull the plug, empty some water, or add water. So that's how you tune the drum up and be ready to use.
Mentor also makes rattles. Traditionally, folded bark and gourds were used. Now, cow horns are the norm.
We didn't have cows before, but having these, our people are like, hey, we have all these horns around with, like, to come up with something that's new in a way, and that we still use today and that we adopted into our culture. That's, to me, that just like blows my mind.
Mentor makes hundreds of rattles each year, each taking 16 steps from start to finish. But even what makes the rattles rattle has evolved over time.
As you can see, mostly every rattle maker uses BBs. For my rattles, I use BBs. So it sounds louder and it gives off a nice tone.
From Kahnawake to Akwesasne, the water drum provides the beat for songs shared beyond their communities. It gives teachings to embolden future generations, to make beautiful art with what you have around you. And at the heart of it all, resiliency.
It's something we need. It's something that is always going to be there for us as Haudenosaunee people. We have to always have these instruments. It's 90% of who we are and the way we give thanks. Music is always a part of our lives.
It's just amazing to see, our people would never back down, and we'll use whatever we can to continue this tradition, continue this way of life as Haudenosaunee people. And we're still here as Haudenosaunee people, and I don't think we're going anywhere.
Round dance.
Welcome back. Let's keep going with our journey to different stations.
Dante, bonjour, Ani, Dave McLeod, Indigenous. Indigenous radio is the best because it's representative of the community on so many levels. And it also has a place that commercial radio doesn't go. One artist that's coming back is Keith Secola. He re-released Indian Cars. He's a big favorite of mine, and he's been a staple within the Indigenous communities.
Your nation, your station, CFNR. I'm Matt Fisher. Propping up young talent, and I mean, not even young talent, but any talent. I have all sorts of people come up to me and say that they love what we're doing, promoting Indigenous culture. I had heard this when I was traveling across Canada, and I gotta give this guy a shout out. Richard Inman has been one of my favorite artists. Azanabi, of course.
Did I give you enough to grow?
Thanks for tuning in, and keep on the listening journey.
When I was young, my mom often sang to me and my siblings, but little did I know those lullabies held teachings. Just like today's music, it has meaning for Indigenous people to empower, connect, and build resilience.
2 weeks ago, it was seized.
It's not surprising that Indigenous musicians use music to carry a message. Whether it's singing in your language, using political calls to action in your lyrics, or bringing songs home to uplift your community, these artists know full well the power of their music. Bear Witness and Tim Two Man Hill are the duo behind the hallucination. For Bear Witness, his mom joined the American Indian movement in the 70s.
Some of my earliest memories are like being on peace marches and spending nights in parks and in front of legislative buildings.
I realized like how important it is to have like the representation of it, like to have Indigenous folk on stage, singing their songs, doing their thing.
Enoch artist Alyssa P. echoed the importance of giving back to her community. She said, listening to the radio was like a peek into the outside world.
Having Cyndi Lauper as a little girl was huge. She reminded us that we don't have to be this pretty, quiet, nice girl. We could be loud and demand respect.
But what was missing was hearing her own people on the charts. Now, the younger generation can see someone like them front and center. Indie rock artist Diga says his next project will be entirely in his language, Plichon. It's his way of fighting against colonialism.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire a Plichon translator so that things are properly pronounced and etc. and spelled right.
These artists all have tight-knit origin stories when it comes to music. They haven't had to look far for powerful messages, turning family lessons into lyrics and empowering a new generation of message carriers.
Ramadillo sole, sene larevo, Walluk sulita hova ho ay 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 ay.
In the heart of Inuit culture lies a powerful rhythm, one that was once silenced. Formed in 2006, Helotdup Sunguninga emerged with a mission. They set out to reclaim the sacred traditions of Inuit singing and drumming, which were long banned and nearly forgotten. While many of these songs were originally performed by men, women kept the heartbeat alive. They practiced in secret, preserving the soul of a people. Under the leadership of Sophie Anatuk, this 6-person drum dance group is bringing those sounds back to life.
I've been in the drum group now for 19 years. Started from when we basically, right from the beginning. And when we had started, like I said, we did not know our traditions. It wasn't brought up. We weren't taught our songs. We were taught church music, right? So a lot of our music now that we sing are music that comes from Erevat. Songs come from Labrador. Songs come from up north, such as far as Baffin Island. One of our fellow members, Lithia, she's from Arctic Bay. So our music comes from all over Canada and are Inuit based.
And how did you find the traditional songs?
It can be a little bit hard because trying to get the technique down and get the right music down, and are we singing it right, and are we singing, because like a lot of our members we're not full Inuit speakers like a lot of our ancestors are, or even some of our elders now, right? So we have that little bit of a backfall when it comes to that sometimes. But we want to make sure we sing properly when we do sing in Inuktitut, our mother tongue.
Siping mo kukutasa, isungang mo pitatwito. Akya kong miyong wami, nakataling mo wami. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
And actually, you've been a member of the group for 4 years now. Why did you want to join? Why was it important to you to bring these traditions back?
I didn't see my grandparents doing this stuff, or like the great-grandparents that I knew. I didn't see them practicing these traditions, and then I was thinking about like how so much of our culture was gone and like so much was taken, you know, and it just kind of lit a fire, and I wanted our elders to see us. Like I thought that was so important, like after like some of the things that like my grandparents went through and my great-grandparents went through, and the elders in our community who were, you know, struggling with, you know, a lot of trauma and a lot of guilt about some of our culture being gone. I wanted them to see us. Like I wanted them to see us.
We can be proud about being Inuit.
Yeah, I wanted them to see us being proud and fighting to take it back, and like being proud for ourselves, but especially for the people who weren't allowed to be proud of themselves. I remember like when we performed here, like, you know, it wasn't even really about the performance. It was about like, we're still here and we can still do this. And I remember like the elders just watching and their eyes just like so wide and just like being so proud, and it was probably one of the best feelings ever, just seeing our elders being proud of us and seeing like, you know, see, it's not gone and they're going to take it back for us.
No, the Eastern said they're noda.
No, Mama.
Yung ganda na noda. Kwahyo yanere, kwahyo yanere.
This is a regular part of Ganahne and Yenurun Kwatsenahawi's day to spend some time singing. Doesn't matter what and how we sing to our babies when they're born. For my nation, the Haudenosaunee people, it does. Our word for mother, again, istaha, means she gives me strength. And that's what these lullabies do.
Throughout my pregnancy, I sang her this one lullaby that really only comes to me when I really need it. Anytime I needed it after that, when she was here with us, I sung her this song and it just calmed both of us right down and just made me feel so grounded and connected to, spirit.
Ganahne tells us about seed songs, but you're not going to hear any of them here, and that's for a good reason.
We usually sing seed songs for planting season and uplifting the energy and our minds and the way babies are brought into the world. We do the welcoming address and we welcome them into the world using ganyageha and songs. Our seed songs come from creation story, from Sky Woman who was in Sky World and came down to Earth and was caught by birds and got onto a turtle's back, and to uplift her spirits and to plant the seeds that she had brought down from Sky World, she begun to sing seed songs on the turtle's back.
Here in Akwesasne, there's also caution around sharing seed songs.
The seed sounds are like ceremonial sounds, and we don't sing them publicly. It's just something for us to connect to those seeds with. And those sounds that we learn are so ancient, and we want to carry it on and keep those sounds to ourselves because the seeds will recognize it.
Bear Fox is a singer-songwriter whose songs are popular across Haudenosaunee communities, and she's written a few of the lullabies we're hearing today.
When a baby first comes, it's really important to hear the language. So you always try and greet them in the language. I'm so grateful that I can help in this way, like to carry on the language in a small way, in the sounds, and that all the kids are learning it that way.
A Ganyageha version of Robert Munch's book, Love You Forever, was released in 2003. Deo was 17 when she recorded this lullaby to accompany it.
Hayo, hayo, ho, hayo, yo, hayo. I've heard of a lot of families using it for the birth of their babies, and it's really nice to hear that.
Songs and lullabies also teach the little ones and pass on tradition. From Akwesasne territory, we move to the north. In Arviat, Nunavut, we meet a group of singers and storytellers. They've gathered today to tell us about their legends and traditional songs.
So the younger sister started thinking, Aleka, Aleka, who looked to.
My father was a great drum dancer, and that's why I a little bit learned how to sing in Inuktitut.
David Sui is one of the last traditional drummers.
The child song that I sing to my 5 boys, there are 5 boys, so I mostly sing them Inuktitut.
And the lesson they're learning today is that everyone needs a best friend.
A short song, like here's one, everyone has a friend.
Baby, no.
A song that would have been sung along the trail some 200 years ago, represented in this mural. Created by artist Johnny Diacon, this reflects a time when Native Americans were removed from their traditional territory to Oklahoma. Widely known as the Trail of Tears, their descendants call it a different name.
So the forest removal for the Muskogee people is known as Ninishtimishkida, which means the road of suffering. They would circle us in firearms and cannons. And that would basically the idea was to scare our people into not going anywhere, running off, fleeing during the night.
Within that circle, mothers created lullabies to sing to the sound of the bugle horn the military played.
So we still sing this song today, even now, and it represents not just like a beautiful lullaby song for us, it represents the strength of our Muskogee women and their ability to create positivity and hope and find resilience in times of extreme hardship to get our people through.
Eli said there were 4 different versions that she knows of. Here's another.
Baby, no jibaste puja. I sang it to my children, my 4 children. My oldest is 56, and I sing it to my grandchildren now. I try to put a lot of love into my song when I sing it to them, and I look at them when I'm holding them, and I feel like they can just feel the love that I'm sending to them through my song.
From seed songs to bugle horns, lullabies aren't just a melody. They're a record of history, a symbol of enduring strength. Not only do they reinforce a parent's love for their child, lullabies also offer lessons, healing, and a lifelong connection between those who came before us and the faces of the future generations.
So, Sungoya Dizo Dahyadanyete, the Creator has sent you. Ona Yayohe Asadunya, it is now time for you to breathe. Nyawa Jizohe, thank you for being alive. Oila'a Jinawe Angononokwage, baby, I will love you forever. So it's Robert Munch's story, Love You Forever. And my mother, the late Margaret Peters, was given permission to translate it into the Mohawk language. She asked if I would be a part of it and do the singing that is in the book, and that's pretty much the gist of it. And you know what? No, I think I was 16 or 17 actually. I didn't realize that it would be such a big thing. Deoswate stano jinawe angonanukwage kadelanodane. My name is Deoswate, and I will be singing the baby song. Hayo hayo ho we hayo yo hayo ho we hayo ho we ya yo hayo ho we yo hayo ho hawe ne sungwaya tizo dahyadanyete ona ye yo he asadu de nyawa Nyawa jizo he o ila aji nawe angono lonkwage yo hayo ho we hayo yo hayo ho we hayo ho we ya yo hayo ho we o ila aji nawe angono lonkwage Sata devi wakwanyastak Yohahiyo zata hida sevi wakwanyastak Yetinistaha ohunja Yohayo we hayo Yohayo we hayo Yo hayo we